So now we're into the rite of passage, and the first thing that's going to happen is that at the appointed time, which everyone knows in advance, the ritual elder is going to call everyone to order. Now again, thinking about the stage management and theatricality, you might have the graduate wait outside of the room until everyone is assembled so that the elder can welcome that person in and everyone can kind of rise to honor them as you would in a wedding. And then the elder has a script of welcome. So there are some words that they're going to say explaining why we're here and why it's such a significant moment. Enough about that. So the elder has the full program, right? So as one thing ends, they're explaining step by step what we're going to do next. And so the next thing is for everyone to get out their river stories. This is a moment to remember fondly this person and their childhood and the experiences that everyone has had with them and the memories that they share. And so it can go on as long as people want it to go on. At some point, the elder will be like, okay, that's enough stories about this person. Let's keep the train rolling, and we'll move you on to the next thing. But let it go until it, you feel like you've exhausted the stories. Why not? Again, what else do we have to do? And then after the river stories, it's witness declarations. So the witnesses, one by one, are going to approach the graduate and the ritual bowl, and they're going to face them and speak across this threshold with their first declaration. And so, they'll say, from this stage of my journey with you, I will miss, and share one of the things they're going to miss about this time. And when they do that, they put it in the bowl, okay? And so if you have 2 of them, you put 2 in the bowl. If you have 10 of them, you put 10 in the bowl. And then that person sits and the next person comes up and reads their declarations. So then you get to the second prompt, and it's from this stage of your journey, I hope that you carry blank into the future. And with these, the things that you hope they're going to carry, you put it into the ritual box, okay? And then once we have all of the declarations in their spots, the ritual elder, who's going to kind of have to have their own prop table, is going to reach for the water. So elements often play a significant role in rites of passage. I love thinking about fire and water, so you could also do this with fire if you have a safe way to make a fire in a fire pit in the backyard or a wood stove or something like that. But water works for everybody. So there's a water script, and we're going to talk about both the fact that water gives life, it has the power to take life, and it has the power to transform life, okay? And then pour the water in, about half the water, because we need some more. And now finally, it's time for the graduate to begin the process of crossing the threshold. So the first thing the elder can invite the graduate to do is to speak for the first time, and just to speak from the heart. So we've just sat here and listened to an inventory of their life. Maybe there's some response that the graduate wants to make extemporaneously. And then the more formal part of it is that the graduate is going to make their declarations, okay? So from this stage of my journey, I'm leaving behind into the bowl. From this stage of my journey, I choose to carry with me into the box, okay? So I want to say this about the declarations and the vows for the graduate. Obviously, you're only sharing the things that you're comfortable sharing, right? If there are things that feel too personal or private, or it's about a relationship that nobody here needs to be involved with, or that's going to cause a big family fight, just keep it to yourself. And you can actually take it though, it's not to not have it here at the ceremony because you still want to do it. Just take it and say it to yourself. Think about it and put it in the bowl. Think about it and put it in the box, whatever it is, okay? All right, so that's that. And then we move to fire script 2, essentially the same talk about transformation. I can finish that off, I guess. The elder will invite the graduate to stand up to make their commitments, okay? And so what's going to happen is, just like with the witness declarations, the adults are going to one by one come forward to recite vows as if they're an officiant in the wedding. Now you can change this up. This could just be the elder doing it. It could just be mom. It could just be grandpa. But it could be each of the adults taking one of the commitments. So that's pretty much the climax of the rite of passage, right? So that's the wedding vows and the I do. The officiant, the elder at this point, turns to the witnesses and says another script, which is essentially, we've taken an inventory of this person's life. We have helped them to unload baggage that doesn't need to be carried across this threshold. And we have given them uplifting hopes and aspirations for the next stage of the journey, okay? If we agree that we are committed to supporting this person and holding them accountable to the obligations and aspirations of this next journey, please repeat, I bear witness. And everyone will say, I bear witness. And that sort of puts the stamp on the community's response to this transformation. We're saying, yes, we welcome you into this new realm, okay? So that's it. So the only thing now is for the symbolic crossing of the threshold. The graduate gets the box for their journey, right? That's their luggage into the next stage of the journey. And it's lightweight because it's all the good stuff, like we talked about last time. So they get the box. The elder says, whatever the script is, are you prepared to leave this chapter behind and step across the threshold into your new role in this family, in this community, whatever the case is? Assuming the graduate says yes, they cross the threshold, and that's the end of the rite of passage. Everyone cries and you have a nice dinner. So the only other thing that I think could be really cool is, in some rites of passage, you would take things like the papers that are here and burn them, or dispose of them in some way, or you'd have a scapegoat literally carry the sins of the people up into the mountains. But here what we have after just a little bit of time, of course, is a pulpy mess. We talked about the last time the fact that we never really leave anything behind, right? It's in us. And so I think a cool thing to do is to symbolically acknowledge that things that we'll miss, things that we grieve over, things that are painful to us, are transformed by time. And since water is the element that we started with in our river of life, we've let water transform, or time transform, these things. And so what you could do in the couple of hours after the rite of passage is take all of this out, squeeze it out, dry it, and you can make an art project out of this. You could shape this before it dries, you could paint it, and it could be something that goes in the box for the journey, so that they're carried in a transformed way. Also, the threshold could be taken in the box as well as something to carry with you. It'll be interesting to look at your next rite of passage, whether there's anything in there that needs to be unloaded. They're just ideas I made up. So you can make them up too. You can use this as inspiration for something that works for your family. It might just be you and your mom in the apartment. It might be a family of 12. It can work in any context. What's important and what this whole toolkit was designed to do is just to offer a creative and emotional support to people who are trying to think about how to mark and celebrate this precious time and this important time in life, because we only get one chance to go through these rites of passage. And when high school graduation comes and goes, it marks something. And so we just want to find some way to acknowledge that transition. So, you put these things out in the world and you have no idea if anyone sees them, let alone uses them. So my one appeal of this project is that if anybody uses any of these things, any of the resources from the book or ideas for this family rite of passage, will you be in touch? Will you send me an email and a picture, a little video? I would love to know if people did this. I am definitely doing this when my kids graduate from high school. I think it's a really cool thing that you can do, pandemic or no pandemic. All right, folks. Well, thanks for taking this journey with us. I hope it's been helpful. I wish the class of 2020 great good fortune as you continue down your river. Thanks, everyone. I'm Kevin Bott with the Stella Adler Studio. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.